Welcome to another Wisdom Podcast. Today with us is Caty Hartung. Caty is at Future Port. If you want to look that up, she worked for a Buddhist organization for quite some time, has been traveling the world for 25 years. She's nowadays an integral coach. She guides and supports clients to develop in their private and professional lives and ultimately helps them become consciously happier. So today we're going to talk about coaching, integral coaching, that is awareness, compassion, and everything in between, and meditation. So please help us welcome Caty to the pod. Caty, please tell us about yourself and tell us about your business.
Yeah, hi Charles. I'm Caty. I'm an integral coach, and that name integral comes from Ken Wilber, who developed the integral theory, where he connected many theories into one point, and out of that there was a coaching education made, and that's an education in Canada. And that's why I can call myself integral coach.
Right. And what is it that you do precisely nowadays?
Nowadays, I have private clients. I work for some organizations. Sometimes I work with CEOs from big corporates. So it's like I have different clientele, and each of them, I think they come to me because they notice there is potential in them, but they don't have really access to it. And I am part of their development for some time, give them a hand, help them to overcome some hurdles, or to see differently, to see new, to see what can they do out of a situation differently.
Nowadays, I feel not stressed, but there's a lot of noise and chaos in my life, from like moving houses or just having a bunch of meetings on a daily basis. I also realize that my caffeine intake has a tipping point at which it has negative impacts, like too much cortisol in my blood and so forth. What would you recommend that I do as a founder to feel calmer and more centered?
You know, the easiest and the one thing which is with you from birth till death is your breath. And only to connect with your breath, calm down by breathing a little bit longer out than in. And you will have immediate response from yourself. You only have to direct your awareness to your breath. And I think you calm down immediately, your nervous system relaxes. Also, if you establish the habit to go to your breath in difficult, stressful moments, it will immediately remind you, there was I can relax. So you breathe out more consciously and you reconnect to that feeling. If you want, we can do it.
We can. Why
Yeah,
not?
why not? You want to do it now?
Sure.
Okay. So I invite you to close your eyes for a sec and connect with your body. Notice your body. And now feel how the breath enters your whole body and how it leaves your body at the tip of your nose. Just stay there for a moment. And now take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, let go of everything which brought you here. Take another deep breath in. And with your exhale, let go of everything what awaits you in the future. And with a third deep breath in, and out. You are here and now, and open your eyes, and you will notice you're definitely calmer than 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, that was quick. I'm thinking of, yeah, it feels good to not think of anything from the past and the future. I think my mind is definitely there and not in the present. That was like one quick insight that I had from this. And I'm thinking about my Spartan race this weekend. It's a 50-kilometer race with
Wow.
multiple obstacles. Yeah. And it's like, gonna be in deep pain again.
But you only race on Sunday, not today.
Yeah. So
All that
why
energy,
race my mind, right?
all the energy you spend now has no meaning. Only if you want to prepare yourself with something concrete. But all these worries and ideas about Sunday will be very different than you think today.
Yeah. So
So the most important is that you are in the moment on Sunday, fresh and present, and then you can react in the right way.
right. And then I feel that the dogs are a lot, like they're young and they're quite mischievous. So they they take my energy, but I feel like I should give them like more freedom and just let them be, and stop intervening and correcting them all the time.
That came up with
Yeah,
your
well,
dog.
they're in front of me right now, I'm fighting for bone. So maybe I should just let them equilibrate themselves, because dogs, they can equilibrate themselves, especially if they're in a pack, like if one does something and is disturbing the group, they will all tell him to quiet, and calm down, sort of. I don't think they need us humans.
I think they like us. They like to be in a pack, and we like them. It's a long story, dogs and humans.
So I guess breath work, presence, um, and yeah, and stop intervening too much all the time. I guess, like, like reaction is not always needed. We think it is, but sometimes I guess the equilibrium can come by itself as insights that I am getting. The worrying part, is always a challenge too for us entrepreneurs. The what if, so the equilibrium between planning and executing and just being in the present. I think a bit of planning can be done, but I think it's mostly emotional easing. So, and the thing
The
that
question, oh, sorry. The question when you react is that you are not often having the whole picture in mind. You just react on an impulse. So you are sour, you shout. But all the reaction chain which comes after, you don't have in that moment consciously. So sometimes it's smart to have a little distance to what is your spontaneous feeling. Have a little bit of awareness. Oh, why am I actually concerned? Why am I triggered? And then ask yourself, what do I do with that energy which arose with me? And not just react and shout or clash the door. You destroy a lot of good energies and good reports and relationships by just a moment of outburst. So if
right.
you train yourself and get a little bit more aware of what you are doing, that's often very beneficial, especially
Hmm.
in working situations.
I think positive visualization also is great. So I have vision boards that I don't consult often, but I also have this book here, which I wrote like a bunch of visions of mine, and these remind me to be in a good state. I think most humans in this life, they don't reach the level of success that they deserve because they constantly remind themselves of negative stuff, and they put themselves into negative situations. I don't have enough cash, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, instead of living in abundance, and visualizing the stuff that they already have, and their best selves and their true potential. What do you think?
Sure. I think that's exactly what people don't do. They are not aware of their states, and they are also not able to shift their states. It's really nice if you are able to recognize, oh, I'm actually not in a good state. And if you then know, how can I change? So, for example, I teach my clients to observe for some time what brings them into a good state, what makes you happy, what, maybe it's nature, maybe it's a beautiful picture, maybe it's a statue in front of you, which can bring a positive impact on your mind. And with that, you can shift out of a state of exhaustion. It doesn't always have to be the coffee cup. The coffee cup, we are trained and we have this feeling, oh, this will bring me energy. But there are many more things which can bring you energy, but we are not trained to it. So your coffee cup has this connection in your mind. Oh, coffee means energy. Is that true? It's discussable, right? And a third or fifth or seventh cup of coffee definitely is not having this effect anymore. Actually, you become very nervous and you are not balanced anymore. So maybe green tea would be better. Yes, or hot water. Hot water is a very nice idea. Start your day with lemon even. Wow. Yeah. We are going quite far. But the shifting states is one thing I work a lot with my clients, especially if you have self-doubt or if you have this idea of never being enough, never good enough, too perfectionist. Then look at these states. Why are you staying there? Why can you not praise yourself? Why can you not praise others? And what is that doing in the room if you praise your team? What does that make to your relationships in a business situation? But this is, of course, now very general. One has to look specifically at a person, what habits and what conditions make this person to the one they are, and why are they limited to praise others or themselves, or why can they not take a moment of rest and rejuvenate by that? What drives them, what runs them? And that's what I'm looking at from different perspectives, not only from the I perspective, but also in the interrelational perspective, or what can you, in which system are they standing? And by that analyze, I can see, oh, here is the person could really need some help. And then we develop together some programs. And they are very individual. It's not like a coaching you can, which you can say, oh, it's always the same coaching program. It is just an individual program because every person is individually special and unique, but run by habits and concepts which are worth to dismantle, to develop.
I find myself lacking empathy nowadays, which is like trying to speed things up, and it's the relationship of quick vs long term. You know, in my impatience, I think I could use a bit more patience. I think in some situations in life, it's good to be impatient, notably in business, but in some situations, it's better to be patient. For example, if there's someone that is close to you and they're not changing, well, instead of trying to put it all in their face and diss them and like hurt them, maybe be a bit more patient, be more of an example to them, and take things from a way slower time of things. This could be with dogs, this could be with humans as well. But yeah, the long term tends to always win, although there needs to be some action in the short term. So how do you go with patience, impatience, short term, long term, to maximize overall and lifetime impact?
You know, the first thing I would say is I don't expect others to change. But how can I change that the situation can change? So I don't project outward and say, he is always like that, or the dogs are always like that. Oh, what can I do to change that they are so nervous, these dogs? Oh, I can let them run without leash. Aha. So I am the one who can change. I don't want that the others change. And that is like the number one, I think. And then if you want to develop patience, I think the meditation is always very, very helpful, because you observe what comes and goes in your mind, and you recognize after some time that actually nothing stays. And everything is impermanent the moment you don't give it any energy. And if you establish that as a habit, you will become automatically patient, more patient.
What about meditation itself? I tend to rationalize everything with my IQ oriented brain, and it's like, oh, it's just another item on the checklist. You know, I need to meditate daily.
And do you do?
Nowadays, no, but that's step one. Step two is checking the meditation boxes, and I feel that's not super much more effective. It's probably like 1.25x value. It is more than the zero that I do right now. It's not zero, right? It's like maybe I meditate once every 3 to 5 days. But I feel that when I go to step two and I just check boxes, I also miss the full point of meditation, which is that yes, I need to do it, but I also need to be in the present and really do it well. So how can I do that? Like, I mean, after some time it will become a habit, right? So I won't need to check the box anymore. But I feel that, yeah, like the box checking thing isn't that much effective, or maybe I'm even wrong. So what do you analyze off that mentality of mine?
You know, the first thing I think is that the meditation, as we in the West take it, is very different than how the Eastern people take it. So we take it a little bit like a yoga class. And my experience is you need to meditate years long to come to very deep states of mind. If we use it as a tool of like yoga, it's relaxation. It gives you a little distance to what happens. It gives you a good state of mind. Your body relaxes. It's the same effect as the breathing. So if we stay on this level and you do that every day, you will have definitely effect. If on top you journal, you will have more effect. If you do in normal life what you do in meditation, let go of your thoughts and so on, then you have the real benefit. So meditation is like a laboratory. It's like we are learning, we are small students learning, but to be conscious all the time, while you walk through the street, while you talk to somebody, while you fall asleep, if you are conscious on all the time and have the awareness with you, then we are talking meditation, So I think it's super helpful to start meditating every day, 3 minutes. Definitely don't start doing it 30 minutes. Do it, be nice to you when you do it. Sit on the cushion as long as you enjoy it. The moment you don't enjoy it anymore, you sat already too long. So I would not be too hard on me. Oh, I have to meditate. Just be kind and notice that after a while you want to meditate more. And only then you are on the right path. If you torture yourself to sit down at 6 in the morning, I don't think this is the right approach, the way we are living right now.
What about my lack of focus sometimes when I do these interviews? I feel that like even the worst of interviewees can make a good interview if the interviewer is good and is present and is asking good questions. What do you recommend that I do for that?
I think it would be good to make real contact with your interviewees, or how you call them. Like, if you ask your questions, look them in the eyes. You have the tendency to look up and not be fully in contact. But I think if you would do that, and ask really the questions which concern you and which you want really to learn something, I think your interviewees will be also having the feeling, oh, he wants really to know something from me, and then you open up. So I like that you ask me questions from your life, because I can, maybe we have a situation where you come home and you say, oh, that helped me for today. Or maybe you breathe tomorrow again and you think of me. And then it was meaningful that we had this exchange.
Right. Yeah, I tend to look up to God for answers, sort of. Yeah, that's like, or I don't know. A lot of people, they look away when they think, so it helps me think better. I'm not sure why. There might be a scientific answer to that later. I tend to look people in the eyes, but it's since you're down, like right now it looks like I'm looking at you, but you're in reality you're there. You're down on my screen.
Okay.
So yeah, that's good feedback though. And yeah, certainly when I bring personal stuff, I think the audience, they do resonate a lot with that because they're founders, they're CEOs as well. The last question I want to ask is, I feel nowadays there's a lack of deep connection in my life. Maybe, I speak to 15 people a day, but I feel I only connect with maybe 5% or 10%. And it's really because there's like a strong connection there. Maybe I could do a better job at getting that connection. A part of it also is that one of my objective has been to connect more with the community that I'm in right now, in Oaxaca, with like other entrepreneurs or other athletes, for example. So that should be high on my list and so forth. Also work on my relationship with my wife and have like more one-on-one moments and so forth. I see, and we see in this society, a crisis of loneliness, quote unquote. And me, I have the means, I have the experience of building communities and making friends. It's something that's quite easy for me. So what would you recommend that I do, or that other founders that are experiencing that, what should we do?
I would say quality time. That's the biggest gift we can give each other. People are genuinely happy if they are in relationship, if they have purpose in life. So what do? We work a lot, we run and want to achieve, but at the end of the day, it's our relationships which are really carrying us through life and which hold us in difficult moments. So I would say, yeah, be aware of that and make an interview with your wife, make interview time with your partners or with your friend. And you do 10 interviews a day, do 8 and have 1 hour free and use it, but then use it with quality time. We time, I call it we time with my partner. And if we are too short on it, it's normal. One becomes itchy. One wants, but suddenly it doesn't flow anymore. We need exchange. We are human beings, social beings. And the problem of many people who are lonely is that they don't dare anymore to come out. Yeah, they are in their own little world, and actually everything else is scary. And then I take them at the hand and learn again to make contact, reach out, notice what happens in them, what fear drives them to not making this contact they are craving so much for. Yeah.
Right.
And
That's good.
work is really a lot like a panzer around us. Do you understand panzer? Like
No.
like a border. We are creating a border, and it's all the time opening up the door again and opening it up again, and talk to a stranger. I mean, I do loving kindness meditation a lot with people. Actually, every Monday morning, one can join. And this loving kindness is going not only to the beloved ones, but also to people we don't know, which are neutral. The man at the corner, the bump at the corner, the woman at the cashier in the supermarket. And it changes your relationship only to thinking of them in your meditation.
Love
So
that.
there's a lot to do. Charles, you can come anytime.
We'll try to. Thanks for the value today, Katie. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and let me know if I can do something. Most important is that to benefit others. Then we get happy.
People can go to catyhartung.com, I guess, to find you. And yeah, that's been Charles Cormier with Katie today for another Founder Wisdom Podcast.com.